Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Entertainment Wednesday with your one and only Miguel Mike Medina. And I want to start off with some news that caught me off guard, but I found out about this yesterday, and that is about Aaron Sorkin. Sorkin, he recently revealed that he suffered a stroke. Aaron, who is 61 years old, he went to see the doctors after he began crashing into walls and corners of his home. His blood pressure was very high, and he's very lucky to be alive. Aaron Sorkin also said that he got worried that he will never write again since he began to slurring his words, and it made things difficult for him to type or even sign his name. What's crazy about this is that I found out about this yesterday, and just the day before yesterday, I started to watch The Newsroom, a series that he created, produced by HBO. And I believe last week or 2 weeks ago, I was watching his movies, Molly's Game on Netflix, and The Trial of the Chicago 7 on Netflix as well. So, Aaron Sorkin, he's my favorite screenwriter. I love the way he writes. I feel that anything that he writes, it turns into gold. That's why I always see his stuff. He won an Academy for Best Screenplay for the movie The Social Network, which is one of my favorite movies written by Aaron Sorkin. Same thing with very few Good Men. And it was tough to hear this news because it's like, wow, we came so close to losing Aaron Sorkin. But Aaron Sorkin, he had dealt with demons in his past in the 80s with drug abuse. I think, if I remember correctly, he said that he's gonna stop smoking cigarettes. So, but it made me think like, wow, how close we were to losing him. He is one of those people that I would learn and study when it comes to the craft of writing. And even though now he's turned into a director now, which I'm very happy for him. His first directed movie was Molly's Game. Then he directed The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is a magnificent movie. And now he's working on a Broadway play. So I just hope that this is a learning lesson for him, and hopefully this is the start of redemption of Aaron Sorkin in terms of taking better care of himself, because the reality is that he's not younger. For him to say that he got worried that he may never write again, that's something that I had a concern with my own health starting 2 years ago. As you guys probably know already, that I've been dealing with gastritis, acid reflux, for about almost 2 years now, which started in June 2021. And ever since I've been dealing with this, I haven't been on a movie set, and I miss being on a movie set. Yes, it can be very frustrating. Well, it was frustrating at the beginning, not anymore, but everything happens for a reason. So, but I'm still writing, I'm still working and doing everything from home. But at some point, I'm gonna wanna be outside of home and do work outside of home. So let's see how things will go. I do miss being on set, so I completely understand where Aaron Sorkin is coming from in terms of being worried. But everything is gonna be all right as long as we have a lot of faith and take good care of ourselves. Let's switch gears. I want to talk to you about Angels in the Outfield. It's a movie that came out in 1994, and this is one of those movies where it's a family movie, but it's sports slash fantasy slash comedy. It's one of those movies where it's not really meant to be taken seriously. It's a feel-good movie. It's produced by Disney. When Disney made when Disney made movies that actually made sense and they were innocent too. This movie is a remake of the 1951 film, which I haven't seen it yet. That's something that I recently learned about, so I gotta check that out. But this movie has a cast of Danny Glover, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd, a taxi reunion between Tony Danza and Christopher Lloyd. And those three, they were already established actors at the time. But then you had future stars in this movie like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then these two actors who were very unknown at the time and went on to become Oscar-winning actors, which is Adrian Brody and Matthew McConaughey. So I've seen this movie before, but now when I saw it this past Saturday, I said, wow, I didn't know Matthew McConaughey was in this movie. I didn't know that Adrian Brody was in this movie. But they were young guys at the time, and very young at the time, and unknown. So that was interesting to learn. Also, Dermot Mulroney, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Dermot Mulroney. I didn't know he was in this movie until I saw this past Saturday as well. He plays Roger's father, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This movie, from a writing standpoint, it could have been better. I would have loved to see more scenes between the father and the son, because you only had like one good scene between them, and that was it. So, but it's a feel-good movie. It's a feel-good movie, and you mostly saw the chemistry between Danny Glover and which he plays a character as a manager, Georgia Knox, of the Anaheim Angels, and Roger, who is played by Joseph Gordon. So this movie was mostly showing the chemistry between both of them. One of the things that is very annoying and I don't like about this movie is the JP character, which is the black kid. I was just so annoyed at how, I get that his character is probably that he's very emotionally sensitive, but it was annoying for me, for my taste. It was just too annoying in this movie. For example, in the beginning of the movie, there's this foster kid living with them. His name is Miguel, right? And this kid was absolutely mean to JP. JP was nice to him, but Miguel was always mean to him, always having a smart comment to say about him. So then one day when Roger and JP come home, and Maggie, who's the one who's a caretaker of the boys, when she tells them that Miguel found a foster home, JP started crying and said that I really liked Miguel, and then he runs up to the room. I'm like, what? Like, please, he was a dick to you. Excuse my language, but come on, let's be real. And then he cried again when the Angels lost, when Roger was in the field, when Roger wasn't at the stadium as the good luck charm, because Roger sees angels coming into the field, which the Angels were a struggling team in the movie, and they became a winning team thanks to the Angels. So Roger is the only one that can see angels. And so JP got emotional because he was there at the game without Roger, because Roger went on to to see his father, but it turned out to be a bad day for Roger. So JP was basically crying to the manager saying, "We lost, blah, blah, blah." And then he cried again near the end of the movie when he finds out that Roger found a foster home. That one made sense, but the other two did not make sense to me, especially the first time when he cried after learning that Miguel found a foster home. But besides that, you had some well acted out scenes, some well acting scenes in this movie. And like I said, anything with sports, especially baseball, because baseball is my favorite film, my favorite sport. I'll watch any movie with baseball, sports in general. So, and yeah, oh yeah, one more thing. This movie came out in 94, right? Shortly before the strike, before the 94 strike. And the Anaheim Angels were actually good in 1995. But then they squandered a 14 game lead in the AL West to the Seattle Mariners. So it's just, this movie in a way foreshadows how good the Angels were going to be the following season. But it ended in a disaster when they gave up that 14 game lead to the Mariners. That's all I have for today's Entertainment Wednesday. Stay tuned for next Wednesday for a new edition of Entertainment Wednesday. Hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, be safe. And may God bless you all.